Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Orbital Economy. With this upcoming IPO, SpaceX is all over the news. With Elon Musk at the helm of the ship, it's easy to understand why SpaceX is so well talked about. With that being said, have you heard of Rocket Labs? Rocket Labs is a rocket company. Could you have guessed? They've launched the second most kilograms to orbit right behind SpaceX. So that's more than NASA or Blue Origin. But the best thing about Rocket Labs is not its upcoming neutron rocket or high launch success rate, but the names of its missions. I have to admit, I'm an absolute fanboy for anything that's cool as fuck. Why would I care about how much money you burn when you have a mission named Kokushin Rising? Alright, let's get back to these cool names later. Rocket Labs was founded in 2006 in New Zealand. This might come to a surprise to some, but they're actually Kiwis. They're all from New Zealand, originally, anyways. It was founded by Peter Beck, a self-taught engineer. Now, Peter was apparently just a dude obsessed with rockets. I can imagine a autistic British dude that's obsessed with trains, but instead a New Zealander obsessed with rockets. In 2009, they successfully launched the Atia 1. This was the first private company in the Southern Hemisphere to successfully reach space. In 2013, they became a U.S. company, establishing its headquarters in California. So after they got some momentum, after they kind of had a few launches, they incorporated in the United States so they can get that sweet, sweet, sweet NASA contracts. In 2017, the first Electron launch happened. Electron is their primary rocket, a smaller one used for all these contracts and what they've mainly been successful with. In 2007, the first successful Electron launch happened. And then in January 2008 was the first, okay. We successfully deployed some shit in space with this rocket. And that's when they really started to get actual contracts. They started to actually send a lot of stuff to space. Cool story, bro, right? So why the fuck are we talking about Rocket Labs? Well, now it's actually Rocket Labs Corporation. Well, look, who gives a fuck about the name? Let's just keep calling it Rocket Labs. Since 2008, Rocket Labs has become the second most frequent U.S. orbital launcher. The reason that mess of a sentence exists is because people that are smarter than me in keeping track of all these launches attribute some of them to New Zealand and some of them to USA. They still have their launch site in New Zealand. Actually, that is a competitive advantage because 17 of their last 18 orbital launches just this year and last year lifted off from their pad in New Zealand, their launch pad in New Zealand. Most of them being customers from Asian countries like Japan or South Korea. As a single company globally, they're still ranked number 3 behind SpaceX and China state launchers. Of course, in total number of launches. Not bad from a startup from New Zealand. But you aren't here for numbers or statistics or actual useful information. You're here for space, for rockets, for cool fucking missions. I told you we would get back to here, and here we are. Rocket Labs has some awesome names for its mission, and each mission has its own mission patch. Think of the Apollo mission. We've all seen the blue NASA suit with the patch on the right or left shoulder. On their website, you can see the names of the missions and the digital patches. You can even buy some of the actual patches. I will put a picture right here. Rocket Lab has such cool names for its missions, and each mission has its own mission name and mission patch. On their website, you can see all the names of their missions and a patch that goes alongside of it. Here are some of my favorite ones. Kokushin Rising, 8 days a week. That's not a knife. Rise and Shine, Bridging the Swarm, and High Five. Let's specifically talk about Kokushin Rising. Maybe more like Kokushin Rising! This mission was paid for by the Japanese Space Agency. So the Japanese government paid Rocket Labs to send this payload to orbit. Now, the payload itself is also pretty interesting. It was actually an origami satellite that was sent into orbit. So this origami satellite is called the Origami Sat 2. I mean, come on, man. You got fucking anime. You got Kokushin Rising. Man, why is Japan so cool? The Origami Set 2 is a cube set. So that's a cube box size thing that folds out the refractive array antenna. So it actually unfolds 25 times its stowed size. Absolutely every gram needs to be accounted for when launching these satellites into space because it's so expensive and so hard. This is obviously going to be beneficial for space missions, something that can unfold 25 times its size. So yeah, Rocket Labs is really cool. They're working with the Japanese government, Japanese company, Korea, but what's in store for the future of Rocket Labs? So Rocket Labs has a new ship called the Hungry Hippo. Now the Hungry Hippo is going to be a medium to large class of a rocket. This will be the answer to Starship from SpaceX or the New Glenn from Blue Origin, or the SLS if we want to count that, just for a size comparison. So it's going to be reusable. You can see right here. So that's pretty cool. Well, we aren't here to speculate. We can make another video. We can make another video on this when the actual rocket works. I want to say I'm making this channel because space is cool. The upcoming space economy will be what history remembers us for. It won't be social media. It won't be the internet. It's going to be this. And if I think space is cool, then someone else out there does as well. I want to prove me and you can be a part of this. I want to say what I want to say the way I want to say it. I want to look how I want to look and still contribute to what's to come. Thank you so much.